there's enough heels that stand out enough. And I feel like if you make him a heel, then by default you're going to like elevate all the other baby faces because you still have like that mixed crowd of some people who love Punk and other people who are just over him. So I feel like by default, I mean it's gonna help. It's gonna help with other people that kind of need that charisma. I don't know. That's what I think.
Mm.
What do you think?
First off, I want to start off by saying that this is the reason why you bring CM Punk back into the company. I know we've had discussions over the past month. Is he a buzzkill to the locker room? Is he a positive or negative influence? And we are not backstage, so we don't know. Obviously, there's been people on both sides who have said, some people have been like, I don't like CM Punk, and some people have been like, CM Punk is the best. So we can't speak to what's happening backstage, but what we can speak to is the fans' reaction. And to be honest, the only bad reaction in wrestling is no reaction. If you're getting booed, you're valuable. If you're getting cheered, you're valuable, because that means that wrestler is making you feel something. And CM Punk, regardless of where you stand about him, he's going to make you feel something. There has been no point in the past 10 months where people have been indifferent about him. Everybody's either loved him and took his side or hated him. And that's exactly where you want to be as a wrestler. But to kind of go back to the main point, the fact that he is this polarizing, I think is the reason why we have a lot to look forward to this Saturday, because it is his polarization that's letting us be like, well, what is he going to say? What do we not know? What's going to happen? As far as him being a heel or a face, I honestly don't know. This is the first time I've been very, very uncertain. But I do know for certain, I do know one thing. He's going to shake that room. He's going to shake the room, because we haven't heard him really say much of anything. We've seen the Bucks come back and Kenny come back and Brandon Cutler like these tweets and da 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 da, and Hangman cutting promos, and we've seen it all. We've seen John Moxley talk his talk, but we have not heard what CM Punk has to say, and he's just been watching everything. So understand, and now it's like we're on two totally different rosters. Punk is on one roster, the Elite and the Combat Club, a Blackpool Combat Club, is on a completely different roster for a completely different night, which means there's no reason for him not to talk his talk. He's in Chicago. He's not gonna get booed in Chicago. He's gonna shake the room. I don't know what he's gonna say. I just know that he's gonna shake the room. I don't know if he's gonna be a heel or face, but I think that he's probably gonna play it by ear and just kind of go off of the reactions of the crowd. And I think that this comes at no better time for AEW, right? Like, AEW has been building a lot of momentum. Their dynamites have been great. The match between MJF and Adam Cole was unbelievable. The finish was great. So, like, I'm expecting a lot of big things from Collision, especially with the return of Thunder Rosa and Miro and all these guys. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. But want to know what y'all feel about the return of CM Punk, the debut of AEW Collision this Saturday. Let us know in the comments below. We're going to move on, though. So this past week, a former WWE backstage reporter who is known in WWE as Charly Caruso, who is now known, I think, by her real name, which is Charly Arnold. And she had a lot to say. I'm going to make sure that I get this correctly, because she went on Twitter this past week and said something along the lines of, it was a picture, I believe, of two people who were topless on the White House lawn. And she says, I don't care how you identify politically. If you are okay with this obscenity outside the White House, then you are deranged. The rest of the world is laughing hysterically at us. And then somebody replied and said, I don't get it. One person is this, one person is that. And she was just like, oh, well, it's because they're both men. But like, here's my thing. Well, first off, before I say, I want you to tell what you.
Right, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
I don't. The thing that just blows my mind whenever it comes to politics is that nobody really keeps the same energy across the board.
Mm-mm.
And nobody really tells the entire truth. It's like, oh, they're laughing at us because of this gesture outside of the White House. It's like, really? They're laughing at
Mm-hmm.
America because of that? Not because
Mm-hmm.
of gun policy or gun laws, not because of mass incarceration, not because of like our educational system, not because of the rate of obesity in the country, not because there's so many other laughable things about America. And saying that this is one of those things, I think it's just really, really weird and really, really backwards, because it's like there's so many other laughable things about the country that are not being addressed. And I feel like what ends up happening is that every 4 years, when there is a someone in office that another group may not agree with, they tend to weaponize that person's party against them and the ideals that they stand for against them. And I feel like what's happening is that there are people on one side that are criticizing the Democrats because of his kind of like his position as far as supporting the LGBTQ plus community. And then they're like, oh, this, we can't stand for this. And then the other side gets in the office and then they do a bunch of stuff that's just irreprehensible and morally corrupt and wrong. And then the opposing party then tries to go at them for that. And it's just like, it's just annoying. But like, as far as this particular tweet, I just find it very, very interesting how not only is the energy not kept when it comes to parties and when it comes to people, when it pertains to this particular issue, she's not keeping that same energy. Cause sis, you was wearing all the Pride Month merch when you were working for WWE,
Mm-hmm.
but all of a sudden,